Surface de réparation, vous pouvez comprendre donc les indications de Mac Brice, le sélectionneur. C'est aller de l'avant, c'est marquer le maximum de buts. D'ailleurs, voilà pourquoi il y a une titularisation pratiquement de 5 joueurs à vocation offensive.
But you should also understand that Andre Onana is going to get a lot of applause and is going to get a lot of cheers from the fans who've come to watch him, not just to watch the Mauritius, their darling team, but also to watch Andre Onana and Carlos Baleba. You would also notice that the last games the Lions have played on an artificial turf, it has always been a difficult game. Either they pulled a draw, or in the case of the last one in Cape Verde, they lost the game. Well, let's see how the Lions are going to perform on this turf. You have Eta, who is right here, and then you have Maxime Choupo-Moting, who did not have plenty of playing time in the last game against Cape Verde. For now, the Lions have everything to play for. They have so many goals to score. They need to keep up in these next 2 games, beginning with this one. Nkoudou. Ngadu, who was missed right over there, and goalkeeper Dylan Chioti came up to pick it up for the Mauritius.
Dylan Chioti qui va pas se relever, le gardien de but de l'US Oxford. C'est au Luxembourg, à côté de la Belgique. C'est sa 8e sélection dans cette équipe mauricienne. C'est depuis 2003 qu'il a fait sa première apparition. Il est d'ailleurs le préféré du Français Guillaume Moulek, le sélectionneur mauricien depuis les 4 dernières journées. Il a mis de côté un peu le gardien titulaire même de cette sélection pour lui accorder davantage de préférence. C'est dire que l'ancien gardien de but de Chamalières et d'Andrézieux en France l'a convaincu à cette position. Mais là, il est un peu en difficulté. Il reçoit un peu d'assistance dans cette équipe mauricienne. Pas grand changement, hein, sur ça qui est de l'axe défensif. Rosario, la touchant, Dylan Collard, Lindsay Rose, Wilson Montou reste titulaire comme aux 4 dernières journées. Gabriel Calixte, Emmanuel Vincent au milieu de terrain qui vont entourer Kevin De Bruyne, l'ancien capitaine, et puis Darrell Arte et Jérémy Villeneuve au niveau de la ligne d'attaque de cette sélection mauricienne. Qui est là donc à l'avant-dernière journée, tout attend que le Cameroun a cette phase de qualification pour la Coupe du Monde États-Unis, Canada-Mexique 2026. L'enjeu étant la qualification directe, mais avec un Cameroun qui a perdu le contrôle de son destin.
It is a pick-up for the Club M, the Dodos. On the run, Rosario Latouchon. Yannick Aristide. The tussle is in Cameroonian side of the pitch. Quick recuperation from Ntolo, Nuhu Tolo, who has to play closer to Ngadu Ngadui.
Il a le pressing de l'île Maurice qui oblige Tchachua à placer cette balle en sortie de touche. Il a évité de justesse le corner. Et la remise en jeu, elle sera mauricienne. Rosario Latouchon, qui évolue en National 2, hein, groupe C en France. Au FC 93 Bobigny, Rosario Latouchon, celui qui va exécuter cette remise en jeu. Il est d'ailleurs né en France, comme plusieurs des Mauriciens ici. L'histoire peut leur en donner raison, le coup de sifflet, parce qu'il y a eu une faute. Ce sera un coup franc pour la sélection camerounaise.
Well, that should be right in the penalty area for Andre Onana. Ngadu Gadji, I told you at the start, who was missed, greatly missed in the match against Cape Verde. Right present today on this artificial turf. There is going to be a match in Angola. So the mathematics of Coach Mark Breeze is to know who to field in at this moment, and of course who to preserve and who to field in the game against Angola that is going to be in Cameroon early next week. For the Mauritius, they've never had an opportunity to get to an African Cup of Nations. African qualifiers, the Mauritius lost to Chad in the preliminary round. 4 consecutive unsuccessful attempts to reach the group stage. That is just about the Africa Cup of Nations. Talking about the World Cup, they have never qualified. And in 2014, they withdrew. Now, it is still a difficult moment.
Moment de difficulté également pour la défense mauricienne après la faute sur Nicolas Moumi Gamaleux. Ce sera un coup franc donc pour la sélection camerounaise. 6e minute. Et peut-être cette première occasion pour les Lions indomptables de s'offrir une première possibilité de but, et le public qui appelle le but. Parce qu'il y a des supporters camerounais en Îles Maurice. Ici à Saint-Pierre notamment.
I think we have two of them who have laid claim, who are about to lay claim to the ball. It is Kudu who takes it. It didn't go right up, has to find a Cameroonian. A brilliant shot there that came in from Carlos Baleba, the magic boy.
Naguida Mohamedou Aboubakar, titularisé aujourd'hui dans l'axe défensif du Cameroun à côté de Michael Gadui, avec à sa gauche comme arrière gauche Nuhu Utolo des Seattle Sounders. Des choix de Marc Brice de ce jour. Gamaleux. Arthur Avom pour revenir sur Michael Gadui. Nuhu Utolo.
What a pressure, want to fight there to stay on with Naguida. They're going to have to be very defensive, but look at that again. Doing his best to hold down Darrell Arte. It's a foul against Cameroon. It's going to be free kick for the club M.
L'espoir peut prendre un peu d'épaisseur pour le Cameroun, avec une Libye qui mène déjà le Cap vers un but à 0 à Tripoli. C'est le scénario souhaité pour permettre au Cameroun de se rapprocher de ce Cap Vert qui lui a ravi la première place. Libye 1, Cap Vert 0 depuis la 6e minute. On y reviendra. Voici le coup franc pour la sélection mauricienne.
It will be very complicated to play this game with one ear far away. It would be better to play the game with your entire concentration on this turf. At the end of the 90 minutes in Libya, what it gives will be it. And at the end of the 90 minutes in Mauritius, what it gives is going to be so. The Cameroonians must give in their everything into this game. Well, of course, it's time to indicate that the Libyans also have an opportunity in the case where Cameroon failed to win it. That is it. Cape Verde top with 19
avec
points.
Ce but, Libya.
And then Libya with 17. So it stays that way. Libya go up to 20 points and Cape Verde they stay down. And should Cameroon beat, Cameroon go up to 19 points. There it is, the mathematics, if you so desire.
En l'état, la Libye est 2e et non plus le Cameroun. Le Cameroun 3e avec 16 points. Donc en même temps que la Libye fait le job à Tripoli, le Cameroun, ici à Saint-Pierre, devrait également le faire aussi. C'est de marquer des buts afin de conserver cette 2e position et de lorgner la première éventuellement, au cas où, à la dernière journée, le Cap-Vert venait à perdre à domicile à Praia face à l'Eswatini. C'est la deuxième phase, la plus difficile et complexe de l'équation.
You wish, my friend. Rosario Latouchon brings ball back into business in the Cameroonian defensive area. It was cleared off. And it's a free kick there for Cameroon. It's a little infringement against the Mauritius. Great calculations that Evariste Yenga has been explaining. Look at that. Great calculations Evariste has been explaining. But sometimes not to be trapped in the complexities of statistics and calculations. Just win the match and think about the next step later. Gadui. That was quite smart for the Dodos. Gabriel Caliste. And of course, Yannick Aristide. Look at that. For the Mauritius, They are on the last but one spot on the classification, and they are hoping, whatever the case, in front of their own public to get a goal against Cameroon. The first 10 minutes gone, nothing for either side. It is Rosario Latouchon. Calls out to Lindsay Rose. Maxime Choupo-Moting, who is coming into this game today, has a lot of contributions to bring in, because as at now in his team over New York Bulls in America, he's with at 16 goals, 4 assists with 32 matches played already. He's a goal poacher for the team. It's the same thing with Ita Eyong, goal poacher for Levante. Their contribution up front today should be able to count much should the Lions hope to get the victory.
La défense de Naguita. Le relais pour trouver Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting. Moting, il va passer le retrait. C'est dans les bras du gardien d'Oriane, Thioti. Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting, qu'on n'avait pas vu des plus belles lurettes en sélection nationale, a refait son apparition à la 8e journée. Puis le voici aujourd'hui titulaire, porteur de beaucoup d'espoir pour cette attaque, qui pour certains avait besoin d'un souffle nouveau. Et attention à cette passe qui arrive dans les talons de Mouringa Maleux, évidemment qu'il ne l'aura donc pas. La faute, elle est camerounaise.
Well, of course, you understand that the Dodos, the Club M, must watch out. They too at the level of their defense, because they seem to be giving a lot of scholarship to the Cameroonian attack line, and they need to watch that. Of course, the referee from Ethiopia, Utiki, calls that against the Dodos. Nkudu. Can he get Maxime in that one? It was a smart outing there from Dorian Chioti.
Il y a une possibilité de transpercer cette défense. Les deux incursions de Maxime Choupo-Moting l'indiquent bien. La faute. C'est Carlos Baleba dans une couverture intelligente qui va obtenir cette possession de balle pour les Lions indomptables.
McBrace staring at the outcome, at the possible outcome of this game. McBrace, of course, who has not lost any match up to this moment, still does not have his Mununga on the bench. Chachua opens up wide. Dorian Choti picks it up in the air. McBrace must carry on with the game. He needs to bring in his tactics and his strategy in the game. Wow, that was a foul there on Darrell Altri,
qui cause la faute sur Naguida Mohamedou Aboubakar. Baleba.
He's won the confidence of the coach Evaris Mohamedou Naguida since he came in. He demonstrated his willingness to play. He demonstrated tact. He showed that he had mettle for the game. And since that last game, Coach Mark Breeze has always seen something in the boy that he makes titular every time there is a game.
Ah oui, à la 7e journée face à l'Eswatini. C'est un histoire Amadou Aïdjo de Yaoundé. Il a convaincu d'ailleurs tous les millions de Camerounais de sa maîtrise de jeu, de son talent, de sa vélocité également. Ce jeune joueur de la génération de Carlos Baleba, les deux figures dans l'aire de jeu, pas très loin de Arthur Avon également. C'est la même génération. Et la défense camerounaise qui se retracte. Nous, Tolo qui va essayer de s'excentrer dans la bagarre. Il s'en sort. Et là, il cherche un appui qu'il ne trouve pas, appelant derrière de la main. Presque en signe de détresse. Allez, finalement, ce sera par la gauche. Naguida. Kevin Nkoudou. Nkoudou dans l'accélération. Qui se mêle un peu les pédales pour offrir une sortie de 6 mètres aux Mauriciens.
Well, he looks at it again and tells himself, I would have done that better. I would have taken it another way, and that wouldn't have been the outcome of the game. 15 minutes, 16 already gone into this first half. There is still to be a goal from either Cameroon or the Mauritius on this 9th day of play. Duriam Choti is selected above all the other goalkeepers by the coach. For his concern, he selected above Kevin Jean-Louis, and he selected
Baleba pour Momi Gamaleux, mais ce sera trop profond pour cette balle qu'il ne pourra pas récupérer. Mais il a essayé de lui donner une ouverture sur cette partie du terrain qui n'est pas occupée, malheureusement. Le dosage de la passe est peut-être à revoir. Une sortie de balle de 6 mètres. Dorian Thioti.
Coach Guillaume Molek looking at the possibility of beating Cameroon. He thinks, after watching Cameroon against Cape Verde, that the artificial turf will play in their favor. Let's see how that goes to the end of this game.
Ah ouais, c'est un stade de football moyen, une capacité de moins de 5000 places, situé dans un complexe sportif appelé Côte d'Or. C'est nouveau, c'est tout récent, parce qu'il a été mis en service le 4 juin 2024. Il est au milieu d'un centre aquatique, d'une piste autonome d'athlétisme, d'un centre de haute performance et puis d'une salle principale polyvalente de sport. Pour les sports en salle, justement, vous comprenez que cela est situé dans un complexe, c'était pour diversifier. C'est d'ailleurs l'une des infrastructures qui ont contribué à sortir Saint-Pierre de son statut de banlieue à une petite ville.
And now that is what you see with most of the countries in the southern part of Africa. That is a beautiful telephone call that George Kevin Kudu answers. Now can he beat Wilson Mutu? He finds Carlos Baleba. An attempt there, can they succeed to get it? It was a bit long and no one at the outside right position. Chacho had gone closer.
Là, c'était un but de Naguida sur ce centre. Il a manqué de précision. Le centre n'était adressé à personne parce que ceux qui sollicitaient étaient plutôt vers le point de pénalty alors qu'on est tombé dans la deuxième vers le fond de la surface de réparation. Et donc c'est une remise en jeu pour l'île Maurice. Toujours pas de but entre ces deux sélections.
The Dodos had an opportunity to call back to Doriam Chioti. And we were saying, Everest, that for most of the countries in the southern part of Africa that are rising to the football challenge, they are yet to get natural turfs. They're dealing with artificial turfs. And for Cameroon, throughout these qualifiers, they've had to play matches on artificial turf, sometimes very difficult. Watch out. Beautifully succeeds. But not for long. Etaillon.
L'avant-centre qui va obtenir un petit quelque chose finalement. Le footballeur camerounais le plus réaliste en ce moment.
In Levante, he's the man. He's the highest goal scorer now in Levante.
Ah oui, Carl Etaillon, 5 matchs, 4 buts inscrits.
And then he has 1 assist. Of course, if you have to look at the performances that Etaillon is putting on in the same team, you're going to have a player like Romero Ivan, that is in Levante. But Etaillon is above him because Etaillon registers 1 assist with 4 goals in 5 matches. Seems as if he scores 1 goal in every match. Well, let's see how he succeeds to do that with Contre.
Ce jeu pour le Cameroun. Naguida, la frappe du gauche en déséquilibre. Problème d'appui sur ce terrain en gazon synthétique au moment d'ajuster la frappe. Le jeune joueur a perdu ses appuis. Revoyez-le ici. Voilà ce qui va excentrer cette frappe qu'il avait espéré rentrer dans les filets.
But I think it's a beautiful thing for Ita-Eyong to have spotted Nagida standing and waiting at the shot that came in from Nagida. Beautiful try. This is the second one he is taken in the first half of this game. Surely the third may smile at him, or the fourth, or the fifth, if he stays on with the act. The Club M desperate to clear off with Wilson Mutu. At 19, he's bringing up his best for the Mauritius. Evariste told you already, most of them were born in France, play in French second division clubs. But most of them are also playing with the local league. You hear about the Joachim FC, you hear about the Pamplemousse. Those are the teams from the Mauritius that you would see in this game for the players selected. So all of them are in this game. Cercle de Joachim in Mauritius.
Le plus célèbre, qui a le plus grand contingent de joueurs locaux. Cercle de Joachim, le coup franc et la tête courte pour l'île Maurice. Malheureusement, c'est Gabriel Caliste que voici ici qui, malgré son mètre 87, n'a pas pu toucher cette balle. Allez, André Onana pour la relance du Cameroun. Une sortie de balle par Noutolo, Michael Gadoui. Arthur Avom, repli sur Gadeux. Parce que Tolo n'a pas de solution, il prend appui sur Georges Kevin Koudou, comme ici, qui lui est passé dans ce duel remporté. Il va excentrer Nagida, le centre de Nagida, second poteau pour Tchatchoua. La reprise de volet second poteau qui est cadré. C'est le premier tir cadré du Cameroun. Là, il n'est pas assez puissant pour tromper le gardien d'Oriane, Tioti. Allez, ce sera une sortie touche pour le pays hôte, l'île Maurice. Vous pouvez revoir ici Nagida, cette fois-ci bien précis, qui trouve l'intérieur du pied de Tchatchoua.
Tchatchoua was right ready and he just lifted. He did what he was supposed to do. Well, he had to play against the vigilance of Dorian Chioti. Tchatchoua did just it, raised up the right foot, trying to crash it in. Well, vigilant goalkeeper Dorian Chioti from Blois Football 41 in France, bringing his own contribution. I told you a few minutes ago that Guillaume, the coach, chose him above the other goalkeepers to stand in for to play in this game, probably for every reason, understanding they're coming against Cameroon.
Jérémy Villeneuve, fautif face à Carlos Baleba ici, qui lui avait réussi la bonne couverture. Ah, bien malin, ce jeune joueur de Brighton, qui avait décidé de rester dans son club malgré les sollicitations. Plusieurs bookmakers le voyaient déjà à Manchester United, lui aussi. Il a pris l'option de rester. Ça joue toujours pour le Cameroun. Le Tchatchoua, le centre et la tête. Ouh, le bon timing pourtant de Karl Ita-Eyong ici.
So far, beautiful tries. If you take that again, setting from Uminga Maleu. Tchatchoua lifts it up and Karl Ita-Eyong comes in. He goes above the rectangle, but the desire is strong. They are committing plenty of attacks. At least 25 minutes into the game, there have been several tries up front for the Lions who need the victory.
Il était très gêné par l'expérimenté Lindsay Rose, le défenseur central de 33 ans, qui est parmi la plus grande longévité de cette sélection pour ceux qui se trouvent à Saint-Pierre ce jour. Gadeux Gadoui pour Tupo Moting pour George Kevin Koudou, Nagida. Oh, malheureusement, qui avait tenté la feinte. Oh, un coup de sifflet.
Is it called against Cameroon for that action?
Beaucoup de duels au milieu de terrain.
But it's a more committed team we are seeing for the Indomitable Lions against Cape Verde. Here there is plenty of desire. It is not the match we watch against Cape Verde, which was a bit insipid. But over here, there is that desire. There is that desire to crush it, to get it.
Bah maintenant, il reste à briser le plafond de verre. Il faut marquer le but. C'est le plus important, être réaliste. C'est ce qui est attendu de cette sélection camerounaise, qui est en train d'être aidée, on vous l'a dit, par la Libye en ce moment, puisque cette Libye mène le Cap-Vert par 1-0, ce qui freine donc le tenant du fauteuil de leader dans ce groupe D des éliminatoires de la Coupe du Monde. Le Cameroun a besoin d'une victoire pour revenir donc à 1 point du Cap-Vert et espérer une bonne bataille à la dernière journée, remportée face à l'Angola à Yaoundé le 13 octobre prochain, tandis que l'Eswatini se déplacera à Praia.
Probably they listen to you, Evaris. They listen to you to understand that you are informing them that Libya is leading. Maybe that should fire their machinery for victory. Etayong takes the shot, but he crashed against the boots of Wilson Muto. The Lions have not lost it. They are still pressing on. The ball still wide for Cameroon. Chachwa finds Muminga Malu. He turns around successfully in the lifting. But it's not lost. It's still Cameroon's Nagida. Nagida's been very offensive. He doesn't take it lightly. Every opportunity he has, he fires the shot.
Et c'est plutôt positif, hein, cette volonté affirmée et affichée des Lions indomptables, que ce soit les initiatives de Nagida, Mohamedou, que ce soit Jackson, Tchatchoua, Karl Etaillon, Choupo-Moting, Kevin Koudou et tous les autres. C'est bien cette volonté qu'il faut, cette détermination, mais surtout, il faut du réalisme, puisque bientôt on va franchir la demi-heure de ce match et toujours pas de but. Un résultat qui n'est donc pas à l'avantage du Cameroun, puisqu'il positionne la Libye à la 2e position, puisqu'il faut dire, pour le rappeler, que le Cameroun évolue avec un plan A et un plan B. La première option étant la recherche de la qualification directe, pour laquelle le Cameroun a une chance sur 1 milliard, il faut le dire honnêtement. Et sur l'option B, c'est la qualification pour les barrages. Et pour cela, il faut terminer meilleur 2e. C'est certainement en gagnant.
Watch Maxime, my friend. The speculations and the statistics. Here we go. It is not lost. Carlos. He stops it. But the speed was too much for him to catch up. It is going to be better to watch the soccer 30 minutes into this game. Well, already you know that as far as the game between Libya and Cape Verde is concerned, the Libyans are leading 1-0. Cameroon must score if they have to continue thinking about a possibility within the parameters of their plan A. They have to score wide margin or go back to the complicated trip to America. Never has a visa to the United States of America been so complicated for the Indomitable Lions, who would have to go very far now to go do the application.
Beaucoup de complicité à observer dans cette défense mauricienne entre le Rosario la touchant, Dylan Collard, Lindsay Rose et Winston Moutou, parce qu'ils jouent ensemble, hein. Ils ont été titularisés à cet axe pratiquement depuis le début de ces éliminatoires. Ils bénéficient de la confiance de Guillaume Moulek, le français sélectionneur donc de l'île Maurice. Voilà pourquoi l'être trempé n'est pas toujours évident ici. Pourtant les Camerounais peuvent, puisqu'ils y arrivent de temps à autre. Allez, la bonne récupération là. Johnny Gamaleux, attention. Et il y a un coup de sifflet pour indiquer la passe. La faute, autant pour moi, il y a eu une faute. On le voit sautiller Emmanuel Vincent.
Emmanuel Vincent, they need to watch it. The boy who plays in Saint-Denis FC in Réunion. That is, you want to know where that is in the Indian Ocean. Réunion Island is in the Indian Ocean, far down there besides South Africa in the ocean. That's where shirt number 5, Emmanuel Vincent, plays. Of course, Darrell Arte, Evaristo and Kevin Bru were brought into the game very much to the excitement and the joy of the supporters of the Club M, the Dodos.
Et c'est curieux, Kevin Bru, qui n'a pas de club en ce moment. Il a terminé sa formation d'entraîneur. Il est détenteur d'une licence maintenant d'entraîneur en France.
That was a bit long.
À cette faute. Non validé par Théodros Mituku, l'Éthiopien.
He had taken it a bit too long for him to catch up with it. That is Nagida. He had picked it up a bit too long in that run with the ball. So both players are on the turf. Isn't the time to pick an injury? The championship is getting intense in Europe. Picking an injury at this moment is not the best idea. Look at that. It was a bit long for him to catch up with. And before he could get there, Wilson Mutu has stretched out his boots. Look at that. And sweep off his ankle.
C'était sous le nez de Théodros Mituku. Ce tacle très violent.
Nudolo tried to explain to him that is a foul that you would have called against. Coach Mark Breeze staring at the opportunity of a qualification to the World Cup, which is going to be great history for him. It is going to change his coaching career forever. Should he qualify Cameroon for the African Nations Cup and take them to the World Cup, that is going to open him to the African market as far as soccer is concerned. However, his critics hold against him that the one match that he was supposed to win is the one match that unfortunately Mark Breeze lost.
Un match perdu sur 14. Pour le technicien belge, patron du banc de touche camerounais. Et au mauvais moment, c'était Apraya, ce qui a compliqué la tâche de qualification à André Onana et ses coéquipiers.
Look at that, my friend. Supporters of the Mauritius have taken every seat. As a matter of fact, they bought all the tickets before this game. Come to think of it, they are not just here to support the red shirts. Their compatriots or their players down on the turf, they are here to also watch the guys that they've been watching on television when Manchester United is playing.
Malheureusement, tous n'ont pas été titularisés. Il y a André Onana, certes, il y a Maxime Choumo-Moting, il y a Carlos Baleba. Mais sur le banc de touche, il y a cet homme qu'ils avaient attendu d'entrer, Brian Bemo. Vous voyez visiblement en train d'aller à l'échauffement. Là, cela augure de possibles changements bientôt.
You have to understand, Evaris, that this turf is not a very usual turf for players like Brian Burma, who play in those big teams. They have turfs that are natural and adaptable. But this coming to play on an artificial turf sometimes is not very easy. Quite unfortunate for Wilson Mutu. He has to hop out of the pitch. 23 years old for this player who plays in Opava in the Czech Republic, that is in the second league. They were relegated since 2000 and they are still struggling to get back to the Czech number one league.
Mais les Lions indomptables, dans leur histoire, ont cette capacité d'adaptation sur toutes les surfaces, puisqu'ils ont souvent, pour la plupart, débuté sur des terrains nus, de la terre. C'est vraiment difficile dans ces conditions-là. Ils sont passés par le terrain artificiel comme un terrain à gazon pas naturel comme celui-ci, et donc ils peuvent bien s'adapter. Kevin Kudu.
Don't you enjoy the communication there between Mamadou Nagida and Kevin Kudu? They're doing it gently and beautifully. Carlos Baleba, Nutolo picks it. They've all come into the Mauritius side of the pitch. Muminga Malu, Jackson Chatwa, Kandu Kajui. It is only Andre Onana who is yet at home to watch out any danger. The 10, they have gone out in the expedition to get a goal. Muminga Malu finds it in the penalty area. And here we are.
Nagida pour Josh Kevin Kudu, excentré à la gauche, qui combine avec Choupo-Moting. Choupo qui n'est pas passé, mais obtient néanmoins un corner.
His maturity tells you everything about him, the way he plays. If he loses the ball, at least gain something from it.
Ça s'est joué rapidement pour le Cameroun.
That was a smart play there from Maxime Choupo-Moting, goal poacher in America. Of course, Wilson Motu is not coming back. And here you have Jordan Francois, who is going to take his place. Jordan Francois from Cercle de Joachim is a local player in the Mauritius, so he should be receiving a lot of applause from the fans as he gets in. At 27 years old, he is the hope. Look at him. He is the hope of the Mauritian football.
La passe pour l'Îles Maurice. Et la défense camerounaise est regroupée. Jérémy Villeneuve et finalement André Onana est là. Et la relance très rapidement. Ah oui, parce que le temps, il faut le gagner.
Take that again, you will see where the Mauritius stand with 6 points, minus 6 goals. Cape Verde have equalized. I think the correction stands. It is still Libya leading.
Ah ouais.
It is still Libya leading 1-0 at the 35th minute of play over there in Tripoli.
Ah non, il y a eu égalisation déjà du Cap-Vert. C'est Telmo Akamcho qui l'a réussi à la 29e minute, ce qui remet donc l'égalité entre la Libye et le Cap-Vert.
Exactly.
Et le Cameroun reprend sa 2e position dans le groupe.
He scored at the 29th minute to reduce tally in Libya. The Dodos sometimes seem difficult to break out of the white shirt who are oppressing them in their own backyard. Dylan Collard takes up Rosario Latouchon. Can he break through?
Ça va être compliqué pour Latouchon. Et là, on parle de lui Carlos Baliba. Il ne laisse pas le moindre centimètre. Il va changer complètement pour trouver Gabriel Caliste.
And now the newcomer, Jordan Francois. They also have their own game to bring in the Mauritius and definitely doing so in this game. Here we go. It is Kevin Brew, the man they all are expecting to bring a change in this game. Beautiful play. Watch out. Of course, was quite in the very presence of the referee. It's always going to be a free kick for Cameroon. But you need to watch it with Gabriel Calis, shirt number 17 for the Mauritius. You need to watch Rosario Latouchon. And then, of course, you need to watch it with the newcomer, Jordan Francois. Just about 7 more minutes into regulation. The entire situation is going to look very, very different when they get back to playing Cameroon. It's going to be on a natural turf. They're going to have thousands of supporters on the stadium, and it is going to be the last qualifying match for the World Cup. That you say is next week, my friend. But for now, they have this one to settle.
L'arbitre Theodoros Mituku, qui a été plutôt sympathique et négociateur là. Sur cette faute de Gabriel Calix qui aurait dû lui valoir un carton jaune. Mais l'avertissement verbal a été sévère. C'est une mise en garde définitive. À la prochaine, messieurs, vous verrez le bout de soleil. Moumi Gamaleu.
It is just Kevin Kudu who prevented that attempt to clear up the ball up front for the Mauritius. He said, no way, take it back. Chiotti, Blois from Blois Football Club 41 in France. first half of the game is dying out gently, gradually. There's still to be a goal to come from Cameroon or to come from the Mauritius. Well, maybe the expectation for Cameroon is going to be stronger because for Cameroon, they badly need the victory. Watch out with the Mauritius. It's taken off by Cameroon. Gadju calling on Muminga Malo. He breaks out of the red shirt. Chachua on the run. In the tussle with Kevin Brou. Maxime Choupo-Moting. And this is Carlos Baleba finds Nagida on the run. He clears it completely out of the general rectangle. Lindsay Rose. Absolutely a difficult day for both teams as they are waiting to see which team scores first. But also praying that they don't concede a goal.
Et pour l'île Maurice, c'est rien de grave puisque leur sort est scellé. Déjà, il n'y aura ni qualification directe ni accès au barrage. Donc c'est achever les formalités, jouer les 2 dernières journées, celle face au Cameroun aujourd'hui. Et puis la prochaine face à la Libye, et ce sera terminé, peut-être améliorer leur position de 171e au classement FIFA. Attention, le Cameroun dans la surface avec Etaillon qui est serein, tenaillé.
There is Rosario Latouchon. He's either defending the team or he's dragging the team forward. Kevin Brou came in. It was a foul against him from Carlos Baleba. Strong man, I should say. Look at that. He's brought down, but whatever the case, shirt number 14, Rosario Latouchon from Football Club 93, based in Bobigny, Île-de-France, bringing in his contribution to this game to change the face of the match for the Mauritius playing at home.
La faute sur Jérémy Villeneuve qui donne lieu donc à ce coup franc qu'exécute Dorian Chiotti. Généreux vis-à-vis du Cameroun puisqu'il lui offre une sortie de tous. Noutolo. Nagida. Gadui. La profondeur pour Chachua qu'il trouve avec précision. Chachua, il a vu l'appel, mais là, attention à la position de hors-jeu, évidemment. Il ne pouvait plus la toucher.
Well, he noticed already that Muminga Malo was already in an offside position. It was probably better if he had a possibility to get a cross in. That would have been another option for Jackson Chachua, but he had stayed too long and the pressure was becoming too heavy upon him. He needed to let go of the ball as soon as possible. Libya has scored the second goal, my friend. So Libya are leading by 2-1. What a day in Tripoli for the Libyans who are watching out at the possibility of going to America for the World Cup.
Et tout cela est à l'avantage, une fois encore, des lions indomptables de la sélection camerounaise. La Libye qui leur tend la perche, qui leur donne l'occasion, qui leur rappelle qu'ils devraient gagner à leur tour ce match pour revenir en vie dans la course à la qualification directe. Aller tenter de ravir le fauteuil de leader à ce Cap-Vert à la dernière journée en battant l'Angola. Au cas où les Watini venaient à réaliser un match nul et au cas où aujourd'hui la Libye achevait le boulot.
Well, on this turf today, the pressure is on Cameroon to get the victory. For the Mauritius, with 4 minutes additional time for the Mauritius, it is playing for the honor of the country. But for Cameroon, it has gone beyond honor. This is playing for the qualification because something is still possible. Everything is still open. European Cape Verde, they continue to stand with 19 points. Libya with 17 points, Cameroon 16.
Il y a le petit jeu de chaises musicales qui se poursuit entre les deuxième et troisième positions. Le Cameroun, tantôt deuxième, tantôt troisième. Et à d'autres moments, c'est la Libye qui vient à la deuxième position. Tout au lot pour Tchatchoua. Jackson, le coup d'œil. Il avait cette solution devant lui depuis. Moulinga Maleux, Arthur Avom, et puis le centre finalement pour une tête rouge. C'est la défense mauricienne qui réagit ainsi. Deuxième chance pour le Cameroun par Carlos Baleba. 1 minute déjà de consommer au temps additionnel des 4 offertes par l'Éthiopien Théodoros Mitoukou, l'arbitre central. La récupération, une situation de contre-attaque. C'est vrai qu'il est seul contre 4 défenseurs camerounais. Ça va être difficile pour Yannick Aristide de pouvoir s'en sortir. D'ailleurs, il perd possession de cette balle. La récupération d'André Onana.
He plays well, Carlos Baleba, but there are some moments where he misses it a bit, like just what we've seen in the last few seconds. Let's follow on with Jackson Tchatchoua, riding right on. He gets Kaneta on catch it. That was a bit too long for him. Already 2 minutes of the 4 minutes given have been used up already.
Et ça se voit à la production de jeu mauricienne que l'île Maurice est un élément neutre ici. C'est le Cameroun qui devrait s'enflammer. C'est lui qui devrait conduire toutes les opérations, se montrer plus déterminé et réaliste surtout. Il reste 2 minutes avant la fin de cette première période et toujours pas de but entre Mauriciens et Camerounais, alors que les nouvelles de Tripoli indiquent l'équipe libyenne qui mène au score par 2 buts à 1. C'est une belle occasion pour le Cameroun d'en profiter. La montée mauricienne dans une défense bien contrôlée par nous. Tolo qui assure là la couverture au moment où André Onana va relancer très loin devant Moumi Gamaleux, malheureusement arrivé avec un léger retard.
And that was the best Moumi Gamaleux could offer. Soon it's going to be time to get into the dressing room and get instructions and look at who possibly can come in, who can substitute who on the turf at this moment. Rosario Latouchon brings ball into business. Avom and the tussle. And of course, Nuwutulu calls out on Andre Onana. Who's been doing great things since he went to Turkey in Trabzonspor.
Oui, passeur décisif.
He's recorded that he's with an assist.
Ah oui, il retrouve son équilibre.
Man of the match several times. And he's doing quite a great thing in Trabzonspor. Apparently, the attention of most Cameroonians now is towards the Turkish league. Not only of Cameroonians, but of course, supporters of Manchester United who watched Andre Onana play last season, and this season he has to go over. They still have to see what he's doing.
Ah oui, il est en confiance. C'est presque terminé. À Saint-Pierre, c'est le coup de sifflet de Théodoros Mitoukou pour indiquer la mi-temps de ce match sur un score vierge. Pas de but pour les Lions indomptables, pas de but pour leur pays d'accueil, l'île Maurice. C'est donc du sur place que fait le Cameroun en ce moment, alors que côté de Tripoli, la Libye mène par 2 buts à 1. C'est un score qui a une influence sur cette rencontre. Les Camerounais ont encore des possibilités de bien négocier cette partie. Il leur faut absolument une victoire. Une victoire à l'absolu. On le verra bien. Ce sera...
Thank you very much, Baldwin Sama. Listening to your guests, bringing the much needed attention. The match has been taken. This game is surely going to need somebody to carry on with the fire. This game is surely going to need a leader. This game is surely going to need that fire that Basagok will likely have to bring into the game. He's already into the game. So let's see what this next 45 minutes will give. Of course, you know already that is going to be the beginning of the second half over there in Tripoli, where Libya leading by 2-1. So here we are with the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Christian Bassogog saves through. He takes a crossing. He came in just for that, and that is what he's doing. Corner kick registered for Cameroon with Rosario Latouchon coming to save out Christian Bassogog's crossing. Look at that.
Christian Bassogog qui est rentré à la place de Georges Kevin Koudou. Peut-être le plus de tonus couloir gauche. Premier résultat, ce corner qui est exécuté. La tête, elle est défensive. Jackson Tchachua, deuxième tentative par le centre et la tête encore défensive. Allez. Et le troisième centre du Cameroun, cette fois-ci, c'est derrière la ligne.
That went out a bit completely in this attempt. Well, it's time for the players to also look at themselves and tell them it is time to play on. It is time to play on. What they really need here, they need victories in this game. They need a victory in this game. And goals must come in. George Kevin Koudou is out. Christian Bassogog, number 11, is in. Doriam Chioti sets it out, and it's a Cameroonian header. There is a return. There is a giving. There is a receiving. Watch out now. Beautiful move there by Christian Bassogog, who got Avom. Ronaldo Mauritius are coming in. Gado says that it is not a free kick, but it is Gado taking a yellow.
Et là, il a fait prévaloir l'expérience, Michael Gadoui, pour enrayer cette occasion.
Peut-être,
ah oui, voilà. Il touche pas le ballon, mais en même temps, il empêche l'évolution des autres. C'est ce qui a peut-être manqué à cette sélection des Lions indomptables, à Praia, sur cet unique but encaissé face au Cap-Vert. Il s'agissait de se compromettre comme il a fait, parce qu'il en ressort avec un carton jaune. Il est averti, Michael Gadou. Mais fort heureusement, il a enrayé une occasion. C'est un coup franc pour la sélection mauricienne.
Well, if you're interested in the other games, Swaziland, if you're interested in other games, Eswatini and Angola. There's 1 goal for Eswatini and nothing for Angola. It's going to be a free kick. However, there is a Mauritian player on the turf which received 1 goal for Eswatini and nothing for Angola. It's going to be a free kick. However, there is a Mauritian player on the turf which received 1 goal for Eswatini and nothing for Angola. It's going to be a free kick. However, there is a Mauritian player on the turf which received 1 goal for Eswatini and nothing for Angola. It's going to be a free kick. However, there is a Mauritian player on the turf who is receiving first aid treatment. At this moment, normally Evaris, he is supposed to be taken out of the pitch for them to administer the first aid. Look at that. Andre Onana has gone right in there to look at the situation and probably to propose to the medical personnel on what to do.
Ah, c'est l'arbitre, peut-être. C'est en fonction de la gravité de la situation.
Well, very quickly then, it is going to be Coach Guillaume Moulek to bring in a substitution, because it doesn't look like it's going to be any better to bring in another substitution. For now, it is Cameroon nothing, and then the Mauritius no goal. For the other match in the same group, Libya leading 2-1 still. Eswatini have scored against Angola. They would have to keep waiting for the Mauritius. One thing they can never forget is that brilliant qualification for the Africa Cup of Nations in 1974, which remains their most significant achievement as far as football in Africa is concerned. However, they also praise the work they have done with the Indian Ocean Island Games. Remember that they are far down Southern Africa. It's at this moment that Tewodos Mitiku, the referee from Ethiopia, is deciding that they should bring in the stretcher. After about 7-8 minutes lost.
C'est un cas qui certainement nécessitait une première intervention sur la pelouse et une première prise en charge. Allez, il va se relever. Il va se relever. Pas de civière finalement. Est-ce qu'il aura repris les esprits? J'en doute.
Still doesn't look very strong, Evariste.
À voir comment. Il y a eu une association d'intervention. Le médecin de la sélection camerounaise, ainsi que celui de l'île Maurice.
Villeneuve Jérémy, a free agent. He's stepping out of the pitch at 31. He was looking at a possibility of giving his best to the Dodos, the Club M of the Mauritius. But here he is, just sustained a sprain at the level of the elbow, most probably. Villeneuve Jérémy, free agent. His last team was with Crétois Lusitanos. 24 appearances for the Mauritius with just 2 goals. His hopes for the 3rd goal in this game have just been dashed. However, his teammates are still on the turf. The fresh player who has come in to take his place is a shirt number 15 for the team. Set in. Gadu takes it up and finds Nagida. It's played at the backyard there. So to say that shirt number 15 for the Mauritius is Jackson, who has come in. Watch that moment for Cameroon. Mingamalu picks it up, switch it. Oh, what a moment. In the battle, he succeeded. But to get it and to get the turnover, a beautiful one there from Christian Bassakok. Look at that. Muminga Malo succeeds in the dribble. He taps it above the defender. Taps it above Rosario Latouchon. But the last shot was not properly curved. Lobu, both sides calling for goals in this game. It is the Dodos of the Mauritius who have the opportunity to set the play back in the movement.
– 18h20 à Saint-Pierre au moment de cette remise en jeu. Côté Cameroun, Carlos Balega, Arthur Vom, Lotolo, Baleba, et Nagia qui va replier sur le gardien de but André Onana. Baleba choisit de sauter les lignes pour chercher Christian Bassogok. L'occasion du but, et c'est le cas du Cameroun. L'ouverture du score. Une signature de Nicolas Moumi Ngamaleu.
Exactly what Cameroonians have been expecting from the team. Look at the play and look at how much Christian Bassogok went right up, and Moumi Ngamaleu, well, they got it. They got the goal at this moment. But you would see how laborious it was for them to carry it through. Moumi Ngamaleu scores. And it's a goal. And for Cameroonians over there in the Mauritius, it's a time of celebration. Look at that. That's a desperate header. But the two of them standing there, Christian Bassogok, giving space for Moumi Ngamaleu to coordinate it and come right on.
À la bonne lecture de Carlos Balega, qui a choisi ici la profondeur par son pied gauche. Il y a cette tête malheureuse de Dylan Collard qui remet sur orbite Nicolas Moumi Ngamaleu en 2 temps. Il va donc tromper le gardien Dorian Chioti.
Moumi Ngamaleu, who has broken the 4-year dryness. Here he is again, Moumi Ngamaleu in the penalty area. He finds Maxime Choupo-Moting. Oh, what a beautiful day for Moumi Ngamaleu, who has just broken a 4-year drought with no international goal, because his last international goal was against Côte d'Ivoire in September 2021 in Abidjan.
Tentative de réaction mauricienne là, qui n'aboutira à rien malgré les plaintes de Darrell Altry. Le Cameroun mène désormais par un but à 0 dans son déplacement à Saint-Pierre. C'est bien ce qui était attendu de lui, et là, il occupe sa 2e place fièrement. Il revient surtout à 1 point du Cap-Vert qui est la cible.
I've been waiting for you to come back to that, Evariste.
C'est bien ce qu'il faut observer, hein. Ne pas le perdre de vue, surtout parce que c'est là tout l'enjeu de ce match. Les Lions ont besoin de se rapprocher du Cap-Vert dans la perspective d'une qualification directe. Ce serait la piste la moins laborieuse pour cette sélection nationale camerounaise, plutôt que l'option B, qui est l'option des matchs des barrages. C'est un peu plus lent et incertain.
But as at now, both options are open. There is still a possibility. There's still some green light far at the other side of the tunnel for option A. Should the matches end like this, should the Lions score, but then there's also the possibility of an option B. The option A is the best option to take at this moment. Wilson Mutu. But it is Kevin Brew who takes it. Boy from Trabzonspor. Very much to the joy and expectation of his fans out there in the Mauritius. His coming in has changed a lot. So that is it now. Cape Verde now up with 19 points. Cameroon 18 points so far. It's a bit temporal until the end of the game, of course, which means that Cameroon is a bit closer to their plan A vision than they were at the start of this game.
Guida pour le doyen de la défense camerounaise, Michael Gadeux, le Tolo. Ah oui, qui a les intentions de se précipiter, c'est ce qu'il faut. Plus de verve à l'équipe camerounaise. Baleba, ça passe bien avec ce triangle somptueux, et puis la passe en direction de Nicolas Moumi Ngamaleu. Mais il y avait l'anticipation de Dorian Chioti, le gardien de but mauricien. Voilà une action à mener, Benen, comme on en aimerait voir.
I think that was quite watchful. That was a quite vigilant move from Baleba to search out Moumi Ngamaleu, who was on the run. It was a bit long. Yes, of course, the desire has come in. Beautiful for Avom to steal that one off the boots of the Brun, of Kevin Brou.
Notolo dans un rôle de défenseur axial, défenseur central là, et qui s'en sort plutôt bien pour aujourd'hui.
And here we go. The Lions at 8.
Ngamaleu qui a perdu cette balle.
There were 3 red shirts in front of him. He had a difficult choice to make. He lost it.
Heureusement que le milieu de terrain Cameroun s'est rapidement retracté.
He plays over to Carlos Baleba. The Mauritians are pressing. The Cameroonian defense is walking. That was offside.
Christian Bassogok
was watching some fire into the game. There is now plenty of some amount of desire into the game, the desire for the game, somebody who is going to pick it up, run with it. Cameroon leading the Mauritius 1-0. That was silent. Every action of his, he saluted Andre Onana. Nuhutolo and Maxime Choupo-Moting might not be playing the same team, but they play in the same league. So they should have a great understanding. In this game, Nagida picks it up. The coordination of the defense is quite a careful one, because a beautiful coordination from the defense is going to give a beautiful setting for the attack. Itayong, who is quite combative. It's a foul against Nagida. It's an extra charge.
Ah oui, c'était un duel face à Darrell Altry. Le Camerounais a été un peu plus vif et il a eu une démarche un peu illicite. Il y a ce coup de sifflet. Le Cameroun mène désormais par 1-0. C'est déjà cela d'acquis. Il en faut plus pour sécuriser cette victoire.
Evariste.
Oui, Beden.
Libya 3, Cape Verde 1.
Plutôt une bonne nouvelle pour les Lions de Notable.
Libya leading by 3-1 at the same time.
Il faut en tirer avantage.
Avom. Here he goes. Finds Gadun Kadri.
Bassogok.
And they get Bassogok.
Il est passé Bassogok. Le pied droit, c'est pas son pied fort. Attention.
It's a problem of communication. There's a problem of understanding. As they go out there, who is supposed to take the shot? It is yours, it is mine. It's a problem between the sender and the receiver. Plenty of noise in the midst.
Voilà, Arthur Avom. Il y a l'appel de Nagida ici. Il va replier sur le milieu de terrain. Carlos Baleba, Nagida, Arthur Avom. Il a vu Nagida, mais un peu profond.
Well, he had Christian Bassogok just beside him. He would have said it beautifully, because now Christian Bassogok had a better reading of the situation in the case of taking a crossing. Oh, Guillaume Olek.
Ah oui, cet ancien défenseur et milieu de terrain polyvalent, ancien joueur du Montpellier et du FC Lorient. C'est sa première fois de tenir une sélection nationale africaine.
A best way of conversion after working as a player, you now work as a coach. A great thing. We've seen too much of that in with African teams. Many African players are finishing their career and ending up as coaches. A beautiful turn for Yannick Aristide, finding up there Rosario Latouchon. The efforts that the Club M, the Dodos, are making to go right up. This guy Rosario Latouchon from Football Club 93 in France. Look at the action again. It was a beautiful setting. Good crossing. No red shirt. Still 0 for the Mauritians. The referee doesn't call for an extra push. But now he works on the gear. In that manipulation, the ball stepped out for the Hurricane Bassogok.
Cette balle qui avait traversé la ligne, malheureusement.
Bassogok has become a Brice's man, if you want to say it like that. He's a Mark Brice's man because Mark Brice sees the importance of his game and how he can bring in. They should be very careful at this moment, Evariste.
Ah oui, là c'est Notolo. Notolo face à Darel Altri qui concède une sortie de touche. Le Cameroun qui mène désormais par 1-0. Et chez les mal classés du groupe, match sans enjeu, les Swatini qui mènent déjà par 2-1. Les choses ont évolué. Un autre but de l'Eswatini. Et puis un but de l'Angola, mais sans enjeu, sans impact sur cette rencontre des Lions indomptables, encore moins celle de Tripoli.
But you need to watch out. Should Eswatini, Swaziland build up to be able to score against Angola, then of course they are also working very, very hard. At least, even if they are not going to qualify for the World Cup, at least they should try to play a match against Cape Verde in the last game. Oh, what a difficult moment there for
Christian Bassogok. Petit souci. Et puis Carlos Baleba sur l'action précédente. Il s'étire. Ça doit être bien compliqué. Allez là, c'est sur cette action. C'est un coup de coude qu'il va recevoir de Dylan Collard. Sur le marquage.
As far as goals are concerned, Evariste, for all the 6 members of Group D, Cameroon have the goals in their account, but they are just 1 point behind the leaders, Cape Verde, as at now. Cape Verde is standing with just plus 3 goals. Nuhutolo asking to know how much time they still have to play. It is Cameroon against the Mauritius, or the Mauritius hosting Cameroon on an artificial turf. Back home, Angola will be coming next week. It is going to be the last day of play. Imagine finishing the last day of play in Yaoundé with a qualification. What a joy that will be for Cameroon, for the supporters of the Indomitable Lions everywhere in Cameroon and abroad. Nuhutolo picks it, brings the game back to life.
À la recherche de Christian Bassogok. Il n'aura pas comme destinataire Maguida. Tolo. Maguida à nouveau.
But the loss was for Cameroon. One man's loss is another man's point. So step in. No handball. That was a bit difficult for Itaeyong to quickly turn around. Carlos Baleba. Gadugajui, Carlos Baleba picks it up. Here we go with Itaeyong. 2 red shirts in front of him. His options were skewed, and so he finds Ngadu.
Il y avait une solution à sa droite, car l'Itaïgan Naguida pour Arthur Avom. C'est pour amener l'équipe mauricienne à sortir de son bunker.
This is nice, Everest.
Attention. Et c'est la défense.
Beautiful work there by the defense. cleared of that danger because it looked like real danger for the Mauritius. Goalkeeper Dorian Chiotti had already come out. My friends, if you see what I am seeing at the touchline, you would notice that Brian Mbeumo is getting ready to step foot into the game. The Dodos attracting applause from their supporters. They seem to have everything in control in the last few seconds. And then the crossing. And then an opportunity. And then Andre Onana stops it. What an attempt from Darrell Arte. And then you must salute the contributions. You must salute the intelligent play so far from the Dodos, from the Club M. And the one man that you should watch.
De Rosario, la touchant.
I told you about him.
Darrell Arte était là pour amortir dans ce premier temps ce ballon avant de frapper. Mais il n'a pas trompé le gardien de but, André Onana. On n'était pas loin de l'égalisation là. C'est une alerte. C'est un signal de rester vigilant. Et un but, c'est assez fragile. Il le faut à la sélection camerounaise plutôt de rechercher un but qui sécurise une victoire, qui consolide ce qui a déjà été acquis. Bassogok, excellent. Bassogok, le centre, second poteau. Et là, c'est la poitrine défensive de Lindsay Rose.
Bassogok is doing quite a great job at his level, but then you need a greater development at the central attack position, where you surely be expecting to see Maxime Choupo-Moting. Here we go. White for Cameroon. Evaris, should this end like this, it is going to be one of the rare matches that Mark Brice has won playing abroad. That is, if it ends this way. However, the game is still not very old. Darrell Arte breaking free from the Cameroonian yoke. Not until Christian Bassogok showed up. Nagida. Bassogok with Avom. Well, they would have to let it go out because Carlos Baleba is on the turf. There's a substitution, my friend. Watch it. It is
Carlos Baleba, justement, qui en souffre.
Carlos Baleba is going to go out.
Et qui ne pourra pas poursuivre la partie. On a vu l'entrée indiquée là de
Brian Mbeumo. Listen. Watch Cameroonians celebrating him. Brian Chestadong Mbeumo. 7 matches already played. It's a difficult season. It's not like the seasons he had when he was playing at Brentford. He has 1 goal, 1 assist. And of course, if you want to consider the goal against Grimsby in the EFL Cup, you would say that he has scored 2 goals already for Manchester United. And Zambo Anguissa, who is coming in, he scored on Sunday in the game against Genoa. So with 6 matches, Zambo Anguissa has 2 goals already. A beautiful season that has started for him in Napoli. And then instructions from Coach Mark Brice to Maxime Choupo-Moting. We're expecting, therefore, in the next 15 minutes, my friend, to see a complete change, a revolution in the game.
Sans doute avec du tonus de plus à la suite de ces entrées de Zambo Anguissa et de Brian Mbeumo. Et là, il faudra faire avec le choix tactique de l'île Maurice, ce bloc bas qui pose quelques soucis. Voilà pourquoi le Cameroun parfois traîne dans sa moitié de terrain pour les faire sortir de là avant de se trouver des espaces et d'évoluer.
Coach Mark Brice is staying very offensive, bringing in Brian Mbeumo and bringing in Zambo Anguissa. All of them stepping up his offensive plan. 1 goal doesn't look like it's enough. We've seen the Mauritians as they are mounting up front for Cameroon. So another goal and then another. Eswatini is playing 2-2 now with Angola. So at now they are on a 2-2 draw. Because this is the last but one day of play in Group D. The last day of play is going to be on the 13th, Evariste. So whatever happens in these last two matches is very, very important for the standings in Group D.
La remise en jeu mauricienne. Et la faute du Cameroun par la suite. Alors que nous rentrons dans le dernier quart d'heure.
It is certain the referee has called for the free kick to be taken. A Cameroonian header. Basogok comes up and picks it. Basogok stays with Nagida. Basogok turns around again. It was difficult to break out of the three red shirts, but the ball is not lost completely. Tolo. Is it smart? You would say. Was it the best option? You would ask. Was it the best attacking option for Rosario, for Yannick Aristide? You would wonder. But look at that again. Gadon Gadjui takes it in a very, very lackadaisical manner. What if Yannick Aristide was faster and then he's supposed to receive, he's receiving warnings, verbal warnings from Yannick, from the referee of the game.
Il y a eu la bonne expérience de Michael Gadui. Il a évité autant que faire possible dans son petit jeu malin.
I'm sure that if he's not very careful, he would take a yellow. The pedagogy is gone. The verbal warnings have passed. And now maybe time to move to action. That is the boy, Latouchon, for the Mauritius. Tries to sweep over, but Jackson Chachua was there to bring to nil his attempt. Once again, I told you, Evariste, that the pedagogy was over.
Ah oui, le carton jaune, il avait il était sous le coup d'un avertissement verbal, Carliste, et finalement ce bout de soleil, le carton jaune qui lui est attribué pour son jeu régulièrement illicite, parce que là il va freiner la course d'Arthur Arvom pour ce carton bien mérité.
So the foul was committed by Cameroon already, but he extended the foul in the sense that he pinned down Arthur Avom's boot. So he takes the yellow, not because he committed the foul in the first place, but because even after the foul, he seized it offensive.
Une faute avait déjà été commise par Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting, coup franc donc pour l'île Maurice.
An opportunity for the Mauritius. It's not lost for the red shirts. Except that Nagida was coming behind Darrell Arte. Only 10 minutes into regulation. And you'll be looking at the flight back home because it is at home that they will play the last qualifying match. Look at that. Yes, of course, beautiful header, but there was no one. Brian Burmer. One of the first balls that he's really picking up control of. Oh. Beautiful one for Cameroon. Dangerous free kick for Cameroon.
Ah oui,
Time for a substitution.
Après la faute sur Karl Etaillon. La sortie de Darrell Arte, côté de l'île Maurice.
You have two of them who are going to come into the game. The Mauritius against Cameroon. Of course, Kevin Brew, unfortunately, is stepping out. Angel Arte is stepping out. And then you're going to get
Luis Rita
coming in. And Leon Aliza coming in.
Au franc camerounais, on a Brian Bemo placé sur son pied de direction, le pied gauche. Il a à côté de lui Franck Zambo Anguissa, alors que Christian Vassogok et Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting s'en vont pour gêner quelque peu le placement de cette défense.
Brian Bemo who just came in from assist.
Du deuxième but peut-être pour les Lions indomptables ici. Allez, Theodoros Nituku qui donne l'autorisation à Brian Bowman de la jouer. C'est au-dessus, malheureusement. Bien enveloppé pour l'attaquant de Manchester United.
Beautifully curved, I should say, Evaris. Wonderfully curved. Look at that shot again. Wonderfully curved, but slightly above the rectangle. With 7 minutes to regulation, we'll be waiting to see what additional time will give. Another foul. Cape Verde are struggling to reduce tally. I should say Libya 3, Cape Verde 2. And the newcomer Jordan Francois, who came in the first half of the game, has picked up another yellow. We're seeing that Cape Verde have reduced tally up in Tripoli for the game. However, it is still 3 for Libya and 2 for Cape Verde. The dark invader is coming in. It is Andre Onana who rushes right there to where his captain armband, as if to say, welcome Capi, you were long missed.
Allez, l'entrée du capitaine Vincent Aboubakar, sortie des Taillons, entrée également de Dani Damasso.
The boy wants to greet him. I've been watching you only on television. This is a magical opportunity for me. Instead of playing the soccer, he's stretching the hand, my friend, to greet his opponent. What a miracle. Here we go. Zambo Anguissa. Last Sunday, Italy was celebrating this guy when he scored against Genoa.
Il a d'ailleurs terminé homme du match en même temps qu'il a été buteur.
The last 2 goals he scored significant goals. He used to come in at the darkest moment of the team Napoli. So it's a great celebration. They're celebrating greatly in the team. Zambo.
Naguida. Attention à Tripoli. Le Cap-Vert qui est en train de réussir une remontada. 3 pour la Libye et 3 pour le Cap-Vert. 2 buts en l'espace de 5 minutes. Et voilà qui change à nouveau la donne.
What a way for Jackson Chatua. I'm not sure he's going to like himself for that. Suddenly, like you used to say, Evaris, coup de froid à l'Îles Maurice. Because now they are
coup
all
de froid à Saint-Pierre. Ah là, parce que on ne peut pas s'éloigner de nos calculettes, évidemment. Le nul à Tripoli, à l'heure qu'il est. Cela oblige le Cameroun non seulement à gagner ce match, puis le suivant, mais oblige les Ouattini à battre le Cap-Vert à la dernière journée pour que le Cameroun se qualifie directement.
But now Mark Brice has invested a lot in the offensive play in this game. He has brought in almost all the offensive players that he can count on. You have 4 or 5 of them on the turf. You have Vincent Boubacar, you have Namaso, you have Maxime Choupo-Moting, of course. You have Eta Eyong, and then he's coming, the boy from Manchester United. I'm talking about Brian Mbeumo. The team should be able to go above just 1 goal. This looks a bit complicated for Cameroon. Well, as far as plan A is concerned, Everest.
Les 6 dernières minutes les 3 dernières minutes du temps réglementaire dans cette partie. Une victoire, c'est déjà bien pour les Lions indomptables. C'est la nouvelle de Tripoli qui n'est pas des meilleurs.
It's 3-3 in Tripoli, my friend. 3 for Libya and 3 for Cape Verde. So Cape Verde take 2 points above Cameroon on the temporal standing. Nagida. Boy is into his game, huh? Since the start of it. He's totally into the game.
Il n'y a pas de doute quant à son mérite dans cette sélection. Nagida. Le voici à la récupération ici. Entre 3, il s'en sort. Il trouve Arthur Avom. Arthur qui transite par Bassogok. Le capitaine Vincent Aboubakar. Tchatchoua. Bayan Bomo. Bomo, il a vu Arthur Avom. Bomo, il a appelé certainement le centre. C'est le cas. Second poteau et la tête de Bassogok. Malheureusement, le mauvais timing parce qu'il est allé haut. Un peu avant le Cameroun toujours, peut-être pour une deuxième possibilité. Noutolo ne centre pas. Il va revenir sur Zambo Anguissa. Nagida. Noutolo. Bassogrok, attention, ça coince. Avec un peu de réussite, le Cameroun va la récupérer, cette balle. Noutolo qui revient sur Bassogrok. Dani Lamasso pour sa première touche de balle. Zambo Anguissa. Et là, on s'éloigne de la surface de réparation. Aux Îles Maurice regroupé à niveau. Mais il faut y aller pour sécuriser cette victoire, se mettre définitivement à l'abri le centre. Et là, il n'y a personne.
That was not very strong there from Nagida Muhammadu. But it was quite a beautiful rhythmic pattern. BB carried out a few minutes ago. And here to go again with another. Namaso finds Zambo. Basogok calls out to Nuhu Tolo. A time to pull out the Club M, the Dodos of the Mauritius, out of their side of the pitch. Zambo calls on his boys to move ahead.
C'est quasiment terminé. Il y a eu beaucoup de remplacements et un gros arrêt de jeu. Donc on aura un temps additionnel assez important, c'est 8.
8 minutes of additional time, and you should understand it because at the very start of the game, we've had many players of the Mauritius who stayed on the turf for slight injuries. It was expected. Disappointed fans already moving out of the stadium. Football support in Africa.
Ah oui, puisque l'île Maurice ne leur aurait pas offert grand-chose. Si ce n'est tenté de contenir les Lions indomptables. Ils ont réussi jusqu'à la 56e minute quand ils ont craqué, surpris par Nicolas Moumi-Gamaleu pour l'ouverture du score.
Giving up at with 7 minutes still in the bank. A lot can happen in 7 minutes. And then they're giving up so soon on their team. Well, that's the problem. Sometimes when you are shaken by the seismic reaction from the players on the turf, it affects very much even those on the stands. Why not go out and grab a glass of water to bring down the tension?
Naguida pour André Onana dans les buts. Gadeux qui va chercher Christian Bassogok. Il le trouve avec un peu de réussite. Le centre, second contrôle, Brian Beaumont. Et la reprise, finalement, c'est au fond. Le but du mancunien des Lions indomptables, Brian Beaumont pour le deuxième but.
Brian Beaumont scores the second goal. Again, I would say it, and make sure you do not forget it. This guy has the fastest goal scoring tally as far as international goals are concerned with the international team. Look at that. 7 goals already for Brian Beaumont. This is the fastest 7 goals since starting with the Indomitable Lions in 2022. He scores his 7th international goal. And look at that.
La bonne lecture de Christian Bassogok. Le centre qui trouve pleine vitesse l'attaquant de Manchester United. Il s'y prend par 2 fois. La première, regardez, est repoussée par Chiotti. Et la deuxième, c'est au fond. Pour le deuxième but des Lions indomptables, Brian Beaumont, qui habitue les fanatiques des Lions indomptables à faire vibrer les filets. On peut dire qu'il a manqué. Donc à cette sélection à la première période, voilà. Le coaching payant à cette seconde période, le voici. C'est lui qui donne donc à la sélection camerounaise de sécuriser sa victoire au grand bonheur du petit public camerounais de Saint-Pierre.
You must salute the action of a great player, my friend. You see that crossing, he didn't stop a minute, he took it immediately, and then he went towards Dorian Chiotti, the goalkeeper, who also performed a wonderful feat there to stop that one. He went towards him because he understands that in any case of a rebound, he is going to be there. And Brian Beaumont picked it up for the 7th international goal in just 2 years plus 3 years with the team. Naguida, Zambo, Naguida. He must have scored his points in this game, and that will speak for him for quite a long time. Nuhu Tolo breaks out of 2 red shirts. Find Naguida. But look at that. That was too late. It had gone out, but the referee says the play should continue. The newcomer, Louis Rita, instead of getting a corner kick,
he
pulled it out for a throw.
Sont debout quelques Camerounais dans les gradins. Camerounais de Saint-Pierre.
These same players who said to Cyril Nwaseke before the start of the game that Cameroon will win 4-0. Some others said 3, others said 5. Wow. Let's see how far they can go with their expectations.
On n'en est pas loin. Pour le moment, c'est 2 buts à 0. Clopin, parce que ça n'a pas été évident pour la sélection camerounaise dès le départ. Mais là, l'essentiel, c'est d'être réaliste. Le capitaine Vincent Aboubakar, qui se fait subtiliser le cuir. C'est dans la défense du Cameroun que ça va se jouer, cette déviation de la tête. Ah oui, qui ne saurait inquiéter André Onana.
Maybe this breaks the curse, the anathema. Maybe this breaks whatever was stopping Mark Breeze and his team from winning I should say, matches out of Cameroon. Maybe this is the moment to break it. Only 2 minutes, I should say, remains for the Libya-Cape Verde game in Tripoli. It is 3 for Libya and 3 for Cape Verde. It is a draw, and that takes Cameroon just 2 points behind Cape Verde.
Suspense jusqu'au bout. Attention, Zambo qui réussit la couverture. C'est la faute aux yeux de Theodoros Nitoku, l'Éthiopien arbitre de ce match.
But that is football in Africa. You have the physique, Evariste. You have the physique, you have the presence. Look at a player like Zambo Anguissa. How do you get into a confrontation with Zambo Anguissa? Only his physique imposes respect. And, the referee is going to call that against Cameroon. But it is the man, it is his physique. It is a wonderful, I think, for the Mauritians. This is a good opportunity for them in this free kick. Emmanuel Vincent, no? Rather lean claim to the ball. It's Louis Rita.
Il y a eu la faute. C'est la 7e minute sur 8 de ce temps additionnel. Ce temps qui passe est vite, même à Tripoli, où on joue la 4e minute du temps additionnel avec une égalité de 3 buts entre le Cap-Vert et son pays d'accueil, la Libye. Ce qui maintient dans l'écart de 2 points entre le Cap-Vert et le Cameroun. Repoussant la décision à la dernière journée, un Cap-Vert pas encore qualifié qui devra achever le travail à Praia lors de sa réception de l'Eswatini. Et le Cameroun, lui, à Yaoundé, recevra l'Angola. Il lui faudra une victoire, absolument, et souhaiter une victoire de l'Eswatini à Praia pour se qualifier, si les choses en restaient là.
You're playing your destiny in another person's hands, my friend.
Bien difficile de confier son destin à un autre.
Libya helped you in that attempt. Let's see how Eswatini will be able to do that. Let's follow up with this action. The last for the game. Already 2 points, 2 goals for Cameroon. Nagida calls out to Andre Onana as they watch the last seconds of this game go through for the final whistle. One of the rare moments, I've said it, for an away game win for Cameroon. Zambo. Chatua stays on.
C'est terminé.
It's over for Cameroon. It's over for the Mauritius. What a moment for Cameroon to have brought in a game quite different from what they played against Cape Verde back in Praia. It is Cameroon 2, the Mauritius 0. This guy, Brian Burmer, came in to change the face of the second half of this game. At this moment, Cameroon are standing 2 points behind the leaders of the group, Cape Verde, who've had a difficult time to come behind to close up a 2-goal margin with Libya. Libya leading 3-1, and the Cape Verde came from behind to score 2 goals. They are also fighting hard to stay in the competition and to get the qualification ticket. Then the last day of play, that is going to be on the 13th year in Yaoundé. Cameroon against Angola and Cape Verde against Eswatini will determine the final transcript of Group D.
Ah oui, pour ce qui est des qualifications directes, ce sera donc l'étape finale, le 13, à Yaoundé. Le Cameroun recevra l'Angola, acte dernier, donc il faudra une victoire au Cameroun pour espérer une qualification directe, mais à condition que le Cap-Vert perde son match de la dernière journée, ce qui n'est pas déjà acquis. Mais deuxième possibilité quand même pour le Cameroun ce jour-là, avec une victoire, il peut s'assurer les chances totales d'être reçu pour les barrages. Le Cameroun aujourd'hui réussit l'essentiel, 2-0 face à l'île Maurice, but à la 56e minute de Nicolas Moumi Gamaleux, et puis au temps additionnel de Brian Bemo, ce qui permet donc au Cameroun d'atteindre son objectif de ce déplacement à Saint-Pierre. C'était une victoire. Ils l'ont obtenu, les hommes de Marc Brice, qui se relèvent donc de sa défaite de Praia, essayant un peu d'agrandir les espoirs placés aux Lions indomptables.